Ah, you just gotta love how hard today's women will try to convince themselves of things. And even worse, try to convince other women that the fantasy they've created is in fact true. Like, say, this one.
A man is not a financial plan. Money first, men second. Men will always be there, I promise.
Oh, darling, will they? Will they really? Because while you're promising it's true, telling women it will be true, the fact is, as more and more women are finding out, the truth is something entirely different. Because already we know that almost half of all women are going to end up alone. And that number is only going to grow because men aren't going to be there. Men aren't waiting now, and they aren't going to be even more in the future. Why? Because they're done. They're walking away. It's something they've been doing for the better part of 2 decades now. And I hate to break it to you, but when they do, they don't come back. Men are done with all of your chaos, and they're finding out that in walking away, they're finding peace, prosperity, and a life worth living, not one spent trying to provide for someone else who doesn't appreciate it and never will. But you see, most women refuse to acknowledge that, refuse to admit it, which is exactly why they do what she's doing. Promise themselves and each other that we men will always be there for them, when in fact, we won't. In fact, we already aren't.
Get your degree, build your career, build your savings, start investing, build that company.
Now, I actually think what she just said right there is a good idea for anyone. But let's call it like it is. What she's really saying to women is, go be a man. Give up your femininity. Give up your freedom. Give up your dreams of marriage and children. Instead, focus on your career and only your career. And then when you're ready, you can settle down by finding that man and then have children. You know, when you're, say, in your mid-40s. This is the snake oil that feminism and feminists like this woman are selling and have been selling. This is what they're trying to convince women to do, all with the promise that when the day comes, the men will be lined up, waiting to wife you up, waiting to have kids with you. Except, as I said before, they won't. Not by a long shot. By then, most of the good men will either be in long-term relationships or married, or have been so burned by a previous one that the last thing they're ever going to be dumb enough to do is go down that path again. Which means the pickings for all those eventual barren 40-year-old women with a biological clock ticking will be slim at best and non-existent for most.
The women that I know that are in the happiest relationships, myself included, the reason why we're happy is because we've chosen our partner. We didn't have to settle for them.
Translation, they found some simp who's willing to be beaten down by them for now, while we go build our careers and keep looking for that perfect guy. The perfect guy we can then dump said simp for down the road while claiming he wasn't good enough, didn't try hard enough, wasn't manly enough. Again, this is the very lie that feminism is selling to women and has for decades now. It's on full display here, and it's why men are done and walking away.
Because our livelihood didn't depend on it.
And yet, it does. Okay, maybe not right now, but you damn well better be ready to depend on your livelihood down the road. Because here's a fun little fact, ladies, that you're all going to have to deal with. No family, no children, no man is going to be there for you. Just your livelihood. And as most men will tell you, that ain't worth jack squat in the long run. Because your livelihood doesn't care about you. They'll simply just replace you when you're no longer useful to them. But hey, I guess you need to learn that lesson yourselves, even though we've been trying to teach it to you for some time. The lesson which in the end will leave all the lonely, miserable 50-year-old women out there with no prospects and no future. But it's one, I guess, you got to learn on your own.
Do I think a man should provide for you? Absolutely.
And there it is, the other feminist mantra. A man's sole worth, sole reason for existing is to provide for women. Nothing more, nothing less. He's an income stream. That's it. I mean, she literally just said it. And in return, what does the man get? Well, I'll tell you. Nothing. Abso-freaking-lutely nothing. And yet she's telling women that men are going to be waiting. Good Lord, are they really that stupid?
But what someone else brings to the table should not be the only thing that you have to eat. Because if you give someone the power to feed you, you also give them the power to starve you. And people understand this.
And by people, she means men. Oh, she doesn't realize it, but yeah, that is what she's actually saying. Because you see, men have been starved by women for the better part of 5 decades now. Starved for acknowledgement, starved for appreciation, starved for respect. So yeah, men do understand that. It's why they're walking away, which again proves the fantasy that men will be waiting is just that. Pure, unadulterated fantasy.
When it comes to employment, if you are working a 9 to 5 and this is your only source of income and your boss asks something of you that you're not comfortable with, you might not want to say no because you don't want to get fired. The same thing can happen in a romantic relationship.
Okay, and yet while you're portraying it as a negative in a romantic relationship, seems to me that in a business one you're saying it's a-okay. You see what she's doing there? She's telling women to submit to their bosses, roll over and play dead, compromise and give in. But don't do anything even remotely close to that with someone you claim to love, someone who actually loves you. Oh no, that's oppression. We can't have that. Except, of course, in the workplace. There, you need to do whatever needs to be done with your effort and attention. You need to give it to someone who doesn't care about you and most certainly doesn't love you, instead of the man who does, or should I say, would have if you'd bothered to reciprocate. Good God, the insanity of this mindset just blows me away. And tell me again why any man would be willing to wait for a chick like this?
Power is one hell of a drug, and you have no idea how a person is going to act when they truly believe that you will never walk away because you are dependent on them.
Oh, you mean like your boss? I mean, you yourself just said you'll do whatever your boss wants because you're dependent on that job, dependent on that career that you have told women is the path, the only path to happiness and fulfillment. Okay, ladies, all I can say is if that's what you think, have at it. But don't for a second think that we men are going to be waiting, because most of us already aren't, and the few remaining is growing smaller by the day.
And too often I have seen women have to settle for circumstances that they wouldn't wish upon their worst enemy because they didn't have the financial means to leave.
Good Lord, can she string together 5 letters without going with the bird hands? Anyway, she's using the same old tired argument we've heard for years now. I mean, I agree, women should have to go out and earn. They should have to pay their fair share. But what she's saying also directly contradicts what she said earlier, which is that women should expect men to provide for them. It's quite literally the classic female mindset of what's mine is mine and what's his is mine. Except there's one problem. Men aren't playing that game anymore. Men are now saying, what's mine is mine, and I'm not going to waste my time, effort, energy, or money on a woman who thinks she's entitled to it. All of it, without reciprocating in any way.
There is so much disrespect and abuse that can be avoided if you just make your own money. She's 30 and single. What does that make her? Educated.
Well, on that, I agree. And men, that's exactly what you need to do. Go make your own money, and then stop wasting it. Stop spending it on women like this. Stop giving it to ungrateful, arrogant, entitled women who will offer you nothing, literally nothing in return. They aren't worth it and never will be. So she's right. Leave these women to be 30 and single, alone and bitter, childless and barren, with no future prospects and no happiness, and then sit back and watch it all unfold, as we're already seeing happen. Watch as even more of them figure out that the snake oil women like this have been selling them doesn't deliver. Watch as they find out that their jobs don't fulfill them. And then, when that inevitable biology kicks in and their eggs have dried up and they can't have children and family that they could have had because they listened to this bad advice, well, it's going to be glorious. The fact is, men, we owe women nothing, especially women with this mindset. They wallow in double standards. They don't see men as partners, but providers. They don't see them as human beings even, but wallets. Know that, feel that, and ask yourself, why would I ever want to put myself in that situation? As she said, get educated. See these women for exactly who they are and how they'll never change because they're not capable of it. They're never going to bring you peace. So just walk away. Let them wither like grapes on the vine and enjoy the show as they turn into dried up, wrinkled old raisins.